Did you know that 100 out of 100 people are suffering with subscriber phobia? So if you hit the subscribe button, you're cured! Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Averageteadrinker. So in the first episode we had our class chosen for this series. We resuscitated our Strathholm camping monk. Did you catch that one? Maybe I should have waited at least 1 minute for a monk pun. We ended the first week at 439 and we got our first vault where we grabbed our tier shoulders. The following week we grabbed the God 4 set, so we got even more spin to win damage, and we ended our second week with our biggest key yet, a 16 Throne of the Tides. We also got a juicy stacked vault for our second vault, and then we ended the second week on 449. Getting into our newer adventures, we tried our hand at getting these two pieces here from the world boss in the sleepy zone. The neck has great stats as we love versatility, and the boots means that we can move away from our crafted items and then get items that we can upgrade on the champion track, because unfortunately crafted items can't do that. But instead we got a big fat sum of 900 gold, which will definitely be needed later for crafted items because that shit is expensive. Getting straight into our second vault, there was a couple of items here which I would have easily taken. I was hoping for the Embers trinket from the raid on Smolderon, and then that fat verse stacked ring from Agira. In the Mythic Plus slots, most things would have been an upgrade anyway. As you can see, we did get a 476 axe, and if you do remember from the previous episode in the 16 Throne, we did get the same axe as well, so now we have two one-handers, so that is an option. We did pray and we waited for our sim overlords to tell us what to write on the tablet of truth, and they did tell us to take the axe. I've also seen a few top monks on Radar.io take the Ember of Nullification trinket as you see in the vault here, but surely we'll just get that to drop in the future, right? So before we blast into our first key, we had a little chat with the item upgrade dude and bumped up our item level a little bit. As my favourite saying goes, eye level is eye level. So philosophical, aren't I? I did in fact get recommended to get the slimy expulsion boots, and yes, you're probably already thinking, why is this clown trying to get this crafted on the public order table? Well, my excuse is I've never, and I repeat never, had any craft not done in Valdrakken. So it did come to a shock to me when I had this nice little fella tell me, you actually have to go to Brackenhide last boss, and then the crafter has to make it there. And with how fat some of the prices people were asking for, I decided, well, I might as well wait until I can get an aspect crest, and then after running a few more 16s, I'll just send the 486. But yes, I am clueless, do not at me. Coming into this key, we were about 453 eye level, and we're trying to get a few 16s done just to get us some aspect crests for our little crafted item for the future. This key had a few spicy moments, I'm not going to lie. The DH instantly ripped dagger on the first pull and died, so not a great start. And then we moved on to the second pull where my fat ass ninja pulled the bear, which ultimately did end up causing a wipe. We tried to fight on, but yeah, it didn't work out. Tank died, then I died. And then moving on to the first boss, quite a hilarious thing coming up here. Just demon hunter things, isn't it? Yeah, I feel bad for them with Fell Rush and Fell Blade. I know I wouldn't be able to deal with it most of the time. But kind of going through the rest of the dungeon, got down the other two bosses pretty quickly. This boss is so messy, especially on Entangling Weeks. Every single time I do it, someone dies to the swirlies. We lost our healer to one, and then the DH rotted down because he had no heals. And then the same thing was happening to me. I tried to keep myself going as long as I could, but I ended up running out of defensives and just pressing touch of death as I faded away from existence. And then I ended up coming down to the tank, gave some words of encouragement. Priest got fear and the silence, so there's nothing you can do about that, but we had an absolute Giga Chad tank. He braved it, he was fighting along, and he actually managed to get the boss down by himself. Feels good, man. So after our fiesta of a last boss, we did manage to +2 the dungeon anyways, so now we have an 18 key. Did we get rewarded for the mental scars of that last boss? No. Just kidding, our Giga Chad tank gave us a ring, because obviously he doesn't need it anymore, because he has 100 wives already after his performance against the last boss. After that Darkheart key, we had a little look over what dungeons we still needed on Tyrannical, and that was our goal this week, try to get as many of them done as we can, preferably over a +10, just so we can actually get a little bit of score. And we weren't waiting too long before we got an invite to a blaster, apparently 3.1k ult, Blackrook hold. Coming into the key, I was expecting big things, with it being a 3.1k ult group of course. Got to be at least a +5 instead of the usual +3s we have, so surely they're going to end up with a +15 key afterwards. That's how it works, right? Right? Apart from the memeing, nothing really happened throughout the key. I was just trying my best to keep up with the DH on overall and just trying not to die. Our goal is just to fire out these lower keys and pump up our WoW CV. As you know how jobs work, you need experience to get the job, but how can you get the experience without doing it? You know, that old catch-22? Yeah, doesn't make sense, but at least in WoW we can fire out these internship keys. So the weekly Affix is coming up here, as I mentioned last week. Fortified and Tyrannical do swap each week, so now it is Tyrannical. This increases the boss's HP and damage done, so the higher you go in key level, the more spicy bosses get. Next is Entangling, which slows you and tries to snare you if you stay in the circle as it runs out. You can avoid this just by moving out, and as Monk we do have Tiger's Lust, so we can just free ourselves. Lastly is Bursting, which is every healer's favourite affix in the whole world, and every single time a mob dies they do a percentage HP ticking dot on you, and it stacks. So make sure to refresh this every single time it's about to fall off, and you'll have an extremely thankful healer. Maybe not. Seriously though, do not refresh this debuff if it is about to drop off, because you are causing your healer an aneurysm. The rest of the dungeon, nothing really happened, so it did kind of feel like a 3.1 Omega Pump group. Other than this demon absolutely slapping this priest out of existence. Not sure why this happened, as we all put some damage into the boss before it happened, but I'm guessing the demon had a bad experience with a priest when he was younger. We did manage to grab the Verse Mastery neck, which was quite nice, and our little priest friend also wanted it, but
I like it.
Straight into an Everbloom 10 to pump up our CV again. And to me, seeing Touch of Death as our top damage in a pull just always gets to me. I don't know why, it's like 2 globals and it's on top. Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Can we fucking play the game?
We had a slight Huntard moment. The tank went to pull some lashes for the first pull, as it is becoming a standard practice to do so, because you save time, and yeah, it's just a much easier way of dealing with the dungeon. But the Hunter must not have been into BDSM, as he did not like the extra lashes. Oh, I meant lashes. In this key, and in a few others later on, I did try this build here. I believe the talent swapped for Serenity are Storm, Earth and Fire. And then we got a bit more spinning crane kick damage, and we take Bone Dust Brew. So basically, more AoE pumpies. It did feel pretty fecking good on some packs, especially when you get a GG proc and you have clones out and Bone Dust rolling. Oh, feels good. I did feel the DPS loss though on bosses in comparison to Serenity. It wasn't huge, but you could definitely tell a little bit. I'll probably keep messing around with both builds, and when I start maybe getting to plus 18 keys and above, I'll probably check out and see what people are running for each dungeon. If you guys have any insight, feel free to fire at me any talent builds or advice. Would be very much appreciated for a newbie monk. I'm about to showcase the worst feeling in the entire world as a DPS. Here I am, a good little DPS, focusing down the A-bomb. I popped all my cooldowns into this pack. Still got the A-bomb aggro. Flatlined. All gone. Life ruined. GG go next. So after that soul-crushing aggro death, we easily polished off the council fight, and your boy was top damage. Moving on to the mage. We also managed to secure top damage for this fight as well. What the hell's going on? Right, I know this boss takes increased damage, but we were absolutely flooring this boss with damage. We got procs out of our asshole, and we were just full sending. 700k.
Holy shit!
Insane!
I am the greatest warrior who has ever lived!
I think we actually got top boss damage on every single boss. And yes, I am getting a big head, because it doesn't happen often, so just let me have it. Thank you. We did 468k to the end boss, and we did 207k overall. Biggest number yet, we hit over 200k, easy. and we got commented from before. After that Everbloom, it put us on 1525 score, so it's either halfway if we go to 3k, or we only have 1,000 left to 2500. So I tried to queue my 18 rise just so I can get a myth track item in the vault, and this guy was just on my shit straight away after joining. He was like, give me the lead, you're going to scare people with your score. I did end up actually getting a full party for about 3 seconds, and then the priest randomly just dipped. I guess he was, I don't know, same sort of personality as this DH. Then he was going on about the no bloodlust again, just harping on at me. I was like, we got drums, you know, we can get a shaman or an evoker. Yes, I know drums is worse, but it's not going to make or break the key 10 or 15% haste. It's like, come on man, just have faith. But can you imagine what happens now? Shocker. Because we had rise on our mind, I ended up rising up another key.
You shut up, man. Listen, who is...
But we made short work of this. I'm not going to show too much. We ended up blasting tier. And then I was the first one through the gauntlet. I quickly activated the Dragon's RP, which you should do if you're first. I nearly got to doing 100% by myself, and then this guy ruined it. I would have been first to RP and first to activate it. Hellscream got obliterated like he did by Thrall. And then watch this beautiful sequence of events. Am I an asshole? I don't think so. Morchi quickly got decapitated, and then also Chrono Lord was also defeated. It was a really smooth dungeon, happy days. We end up getting up to 1713 score, so close to 2k now. End up trading a helmet from the Druid, very nice. And then because we had a few catalyst pieces in our bags, we decided to rechange them just to get them on better tracks. I think it's champion gear. Most of our tier sets are now. I almost forgot, we also did a plus 10 Atal just to bump up the CV as well. Super freest, easiest key we've ever timed on this character. With 0 deaths, we blasted through the bosses like butter. And we got a nice little cloak which we could use, and we got the legs from the Druid. We did on Tuesday night realize, oh crap, I don't actually have any raid slots done, so I can't potentially get the trinket from Smolder on Ashes. So I thought I'll quickly blast out the first wing of LFR. So this is just me, late night, blasting. I was actually surprised at how quick I got a queue. I guess everyone else did the same thing. They just wanted to quickly get it done. We ended up getting a belt traded from Gira, very nice. Then we got one shot for 1.1 million because we double soaked, like an Egypt. But yeah, that was basically what we did for LFR. We go again, baby. We tried to get this 18 rise done just so we get a nice myth track item in the Juicer Vault. We end up ending the pull on about 400 something k, which I think is the highest we've ended on a pull which didn't die instantly. So go us. Touch of death padding, of course, not happening here. Kappa. But yeah, I made one fatal mistake. I changed my keybind last night for shift mouse button 4 for ping. But on Monk, that is my touch of karma, so I basically clowned myself and killed myself a few times throughout this dungeon, pressing a button which did nothing. And then you're just watching this beautiful masterpiece of me just clowning in the gauntlet again. Yeah, terrible. Karma is in full effect here, with me laughing in the previous runs.
Get what you fucking deserve!
Yeah, the druid tried to comfort me, didn't make me feel any better, not gonna lie. The tank wasn't next to these mobs, so I kind of just walked up, started pressing stuff, and then just died. My bad. Polished off Hellscream. Druid got sniped by the tank on Morchi Frontal, and then we had 5 stacks, and then just to seal my fate, a number 6 went off. And then look at this insane movement.
Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves! Faker! What?
Other than your boy absolutely clowning on a few deaths. The dungeon went really well. We picked up wrists as well, versus mastery, very nice. Replaces our crafted ones, so now we can actually upgrade them. We're not shoehorned into 447 gear. And then we upgraded a few last pieces in our bags, just bump up our item level. So now we're 458 at the end of the week. We've got 1751 score. We did quite a lot this week in terms of getting Rio up, and we got a lot of gear as well. So feels good, man. Maybe we will get our Ashes trinket in the vault. Who knows? But we shall find out next time. If you did make it this far, leave a comment saying monk, and thank you very much for watching. And a special thanks to the Patreon supporters. You guys are supporting the future of this channel, and I am excited to see what we can accomplish. Have a wonderful day, guys. Peace.